Judges chapter 8. And a man of Ephraim said to him, What is this thing you do to us, to not call us when you went to deploy against Midian? And they quarreled with him forcefully. And he said to them, What did I do now as concerning you? Is not the gleaning of Ephraim better than the gathering the crops of Abiezer? In your hand the Lord delivered up the rulers of Midian, Oreb and Zeeb. And what was I able to do as concerning you? Then their spirit was spared towards them in his speaking with them this word. And Gideon came upon the Jordan and passed over, and the 300 men with him, faint-hearted and hungering. And he said to the men of Succoth, Give indeed breads for the nourishment of this people with me, for they hunger. For I pursue after Zebah and Zalmunna, kings of Midian. And the rulers of Succoth said, The hand of Zebah and Zalmunna is not now in your hand, that we shall give to your military breads. And Gideon said, Is it not thus in the giving by the Lord Zebah and Zalmunna into my hand, that I will rend in shreds your flesh with the thorn bushes of the wilderness, and with the Barkanim? And he ascended from there to Penuel, and spoke to them according to these things. And the men of Penuel answered to him in which manner the men of Succoth answered to him. And Gideon said to the men of Penuel, saying, In my returning with peace I will raise this tower. And Zebah and Zalmunna were in Karkor, and their camp with them, about 15,000, all the ones being left in all the camp of the sons of the east. And the ones falling were 120,000 men unsheathing the broadsword. And Gideon ascended the way of the ones dwelling in tents from the east of Nobah and Jogbehah, and struck the camp. And the camp was secure. And Zebah fled, and Zalmunna, and he pursued after them, and took hold of the 2 kings of Midian, Zebah and Zalmunna, and all their camp was startled. And Gideon the son of Joash returned from out of the battle from the ascent of Ares, and he seized a servant from out of the men of Succoth, and questioned him. And he registered for him the rulers of Succoth and their elders, 77 men. And he came to the rulers of Succoth, and he said to them, Behold, Zebah and Zalmunna, by whom you berated me, saying, Not is the hand of Zebah and Zalmunna now in your hand, that we will give breads to your men fainting. And he took the rulers and the elders of the city into the thorn bushes of the wilderness, and the Barkanim, and he rent with them the men of Succoth. And the tower of Penuel he razed, and killed the men of the city. And he said to Zebah and Zalmunna, What manner are the men whom you killed in Tabor? And they said, As you, so they are likened to you, likened to them as the appearance of sons of kings. And Gideon said, They are sons of my brothers, of my mother. As the Lord lives, if you brought them forth alive, I would not have killed you. And he said to Jether his firstborn, In rising up, kill them. And the boy did not unsheath his sword, for he feared, for he was younger. And Zebah and Zalmunna said, You rise up indeed yourself and meet us. For as a man is, so also his power. And Gideon rose up, and did away with Zebah and Zalmunna, and took the crescents on the necks of their camels. And a man of Israel said to Gideon, Rule among us, you and your son, and the son of your son, for you have delivered us from out of the hand of Midian. And Gideon said to them, I will not rule you, and my son will not rule among you. The Lord shall rule you. And Gideon said to them, I will ask from you a request, and you give to me, every man an earring of his spoils. For earrings of gold was to them, because they were Ishmaelites. And they said, In giving we will give. And he unfolded his garment, and each man tossed there an earring of his spoils. And was the weight of the earrings of gold which he asked for 1,700 shekels of gold, besides the ornaments of the crescents, and the wraparounds of the purple garments upon the kings of Midian, even besides the collars of the ones on the necks of their camels. And Gideon made to himself for an ephod, and set it in his city in Ophrah, and all Israel fornicated after it there. And it became an obstacle to Gideon and his house. And Midian was in remorse before the sons of Israel, and they proceeded not yet to lift their head. And the land was tranquil 40 years in the days of Gideon. And Jerubbaal, son of Joash, went and dwelt in his house. And to Gideon there were 70 sons going forth from out of his thighs, for there were many wives to him. And his concubine in Shechem, she bore to him also indeed a son, and put upon him his name, Abimelech. And Gideon the son of Joash died with good grayness of hair, and he was entombed in the burying place of Joash his father, in Ophrah of the Abiezrites. And it came to pass, as Gideon died, that the sons of Israel returned, and fornicated after the Baalim, and established to themselves Baal-berith for a covenant, for him to be to them for God. And the sons of Israel did not remember the Lord their God, the one rescuing them from out of the hand of all their enemies round about. And they did not do mercy with the house of Jerubbaal, Gideon, according to all the goodness which he did with Israel.